back, Mr. Mike Yaji. It is Dimes on Duval. It is May. I think we recorded in May already. Yeah, we did. So
yeah, 2 weeks ago.
Our second recording in May, and it is.
It's gonna be May.
All right. Well, we're just gonna end the recording. No, I'm just kidding. Oh, you guys might hear. Obviously, I'm Keith Manzi. Mike Yaji is across the way. No Skyler right now. He is at work. He's got a client right now, so he is a little busy, but we'll touch base with him later on. Or I will. I think you'll be closing a house or something, right, Mike?
Hoping my cousin moved. I just closed on a house like an hour and a half ago.
Well, he better listen to the podcast because helping move is definitely,
a pain in the ass.
He's got to subscribe.
Yeah, he does. Don't worry.
All right, good. Well, Mike, sports are, and you can't see me, but I'm using air quotes, back. So we got a nice little tease this past weekend of some live sports, and I don't know about you, but I was stoked.
Yeah, I was definitely pumped that live sports is slowly coming back, although a lot of them have been, or actually all of them have been without fans. It's definitely weird not hearing the fans in any sporting event that I at least saw or even saw highlights of over this past weekend and honestly the last few weeks. But I thought it was definitely interesting that sports is coming back, and it's even better news that some cities and states are opening up facilities to have athletes practice in, which I am all for because it is one step closer to getting sports back. Although maybe not without the fans, but it's still something to watch. And I'm just hoping, hopefully within the next few weeks, we'll get back on a routine of watching sports every night.
I'm right there with you. I mean, I love it. I just want to make sure that they take every precaution. And I don't know, of the sports this weekend, there was UFC, soccer was the German Bundesliga, and NASCAR were all back. And you said you watched UFC, right?
Yep, I watched UFC. It was on ESPN, so I don't have to pay for it or anything like that, and I don't plan on paying for it. It's called streaming services, people. It's 2020. But I saw some fights on UFC. I also watched some highlights from soccer over the weekend, and definitely only NASCAR footage I saw was your brother Scott when he put on his Instagram story, boogity boogity boogity, when the race was about to start. That's the only NASCAR footage I saw. But other than that, I thought it was very cool seeing sports back, like I said earlier. And yeah, UFC was the only thing I actually watched from pretty much start to finish in terms of sports, because that's the only thing I could really watch because it was late at night.
Okay, well, I watched NASCAR. I caught the beginning. There was a first lap wreck, which was,
I should have just kept watching. I should have watched that first lap.
Yeah, no, for first lap, Ricky Stenhouse, who's known for wrecked himself. It was gold. But I did the old, I don't know, I guess you could call it the dad move, where I plopped myself on the couch. I just eaten, turned on the race, kind of had my hands on my stomach, just resting there. I had the nice, comfy pillow behind me.
So you were in pretty much a food coma with your hand on your belly.
Yeah, shout out to Bono's for the delicious barbecue for putting me to sleep, basically. But no, yeah, I was in and out for the whole race. But I caught every wreck because, you could hear them get louder then. But what I wanted to get to with, you said you watched UFC. So did you notice anything different? Like, were they treating interviews differently? I mean, obviously no crowd there. You probably heard more of stuff, right?
Yeah. So the interviews weren't much different from what I saw. The only difference really was the fact that you can hear the coaches trying to talk to the fighters in terms of what to do, what to look out for, stuff like that, which I thought was a cool concept. Very different because usually when the arenas are packed, you don't hear that. You just hear constant yelling and shouting and whatnot from the fans. But you don't really, what I heard was like one was saying, get down, get low, stuff like that to the fighters. And you could tell the fighters kind of, I think, enjoyed that, because I can't remember, it was either this past Saturday or 2 weeks ago, there was another UFC fight. I watched that. And one of them said that I could hear the commentary talk about what was going wrong with me, and then he adjusted midway through the fight, which I thought was bizarre, but very cool.
That's awesome.
But I thought it was very cool. Like, he could hear the commentary. Like, I think it was Daniel Cormier saying something. He heard him, and then he adjusted, and he ended up winning the fight. He said, I got to thank the commentary team because I was like, he adjusted midway through the fight. So I think that's a very cool way of looking at it for at least the fighters because they can hear the coaches more clear, and also you can hear the commentary. And one thing I noticed also, you could also hear the impact of the punches and the kicks and whatnot, but it wasn't as loud as I thought it would have been. I don't know, maybe because the cameras were just not obviously up close and personal, but I still thought it was kind of cool. We could hear the punches and kicks, but also the coolest part was hearing the commentary from the trainers and the coaches advising the fighters of what to look out for and whatnot.
That's so awesome. Could you imagine like a baseball game where like the pitcher can hear what they're saying? He's like, oh yeah, this batter is known for holding off on breaking balls, so you better not throw anything off speed. And
so you're talking
like,
about the Astros at the cheating?
Oh, you won't hear any complaint from me. I know I'm right on board with that. That was terrible.
Yeah, but no, I would love to. I think it's gonna happen though, coming when all sports are back. Like, how was it with NASCAR? I mean, I know you could hear the radio obviously when they give TV the access for it, but was it any different for NASCAR?
So while they were driving, not as much. I mean, you just see empty seats. It is what it is. I mean, unfortunately, you see that with a number of tracks these days where the backstretch won't even have fans in it because there's just not enough to fill it. So that wasn't a big transition for me. The bigger thing was interviews when they cut down to the pit where they'd interview, somebody on pit row or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
The guy was wearing a mask and he was 6 feet apart. They had a whole separate guy holding a microphone that was a very, very long boom mic, basically. And, after the race, Kevin Harvick wins. And instead, he does a burnout for no fans, which I thought was still cool because, I'm watching.
Yeah, because I feel like the burnout's a key part of NASCAR. Like, you want to end every race with a burnout.
Yeah, so he gets out of his car in the middle of the track, and then Regan Smith, the the pit road reporter, runs out there, and he interviews him, but you can see that he's 6 feet away from him, and there's another guy holding a mic for Kevin Harvick to speak into. So it was interesting in that regard, and
that's interesting because, for Victory Lane, because I know, from what I've seen from previous races, the reporters are literally all up in the grill because everyone's so crammed up together usually.
Yeah, it was just him. It was him by himself. They took a picture of him just in Victory Lane, holding up.
Also, his whole pit crew wasn't even there either.
They may have been, but the picture that I saw circulating the internet was just him standing there. So it was
interesting.
It was pretty cool, actually.
That's funny because the UFC thing. What was very weird, when they came out, you know how when UFC fighters come out of the locker room, they have their pump up music and whatnot. It was just usually it's the fighter and his trainers and coaches, whatever, and then there's groupies, I'd say, call them, their friends or whatever.
Basically, groupies, yeah.
And the last, the fights at UFC was just the fighter, and then looks like maybe 2 trainers, maybe 3 trainers and a coach or whatever. The combination of those trainers and coaches, and that's it.
Sorry, I lost you for a second. Are you still there?
You good?
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, perfect. Okay, but no, I thought with the groupies, usually they would be there, but in this case they weren't. So when they came out, it was just the trainer, or 2 trainers, 2 coaches, whatever, the combination of those, and then the fighter. So a total of 5-6 people were coming out. They were all a little distance from each other, but not too far apart. And at the end of the fight, and the trainers and the coaches all wore masks, like the masks that everyone's been wearing lately. So it was very weird seeing that. And then at the end of the fight, when they're cleaning up the fighters, blood on each other, blood on the fighters, blood on the ground, they're still all wearing masks, all of them. And I'm like, that is so weird. And even at the end, when they're all giving each other hugs and whatnot, the 2 fighters, they dap each other up, they give each other a hug, whatever. And then they go back to the trainers, and the trainers are all still in masks, like the whole thing. The only ones who were not wearing masks, from what I saw, were the commentators and the fighters, and also the guy interviewing the fighters afterwards.
Could you imagine which I thought was weird, wearing masks? You know how sick that would be?
That'd be. I'm glad they didn't, because that UFC, you're gonna get hit in the mouth no matter what.
I know,
so
that's what would make it hilarious.
I don't think UFC's trying to make it funny though. They're trying to make it as realistic as possible to a normal fight. So
no,
everything worked. I think UFC. What also made me want to watch it is the fact that what made me mad is it was supposed to be in Jacksonville, or it was in Jacksonville. It was done here at the Vistar Veterans Arena.
Did you even know that was
So
coming?
I knew it was coming. I just didn't realize. I knew maybe about a month ago that it was coming to Jacksonville, but then again, there was no sports, so they said no fans. I'm like, you got to be kidding me.
I didn't find out
Oh,
till
it's
the
still,
day
man.
of, and someone posted it on Twitter, and I was like, "What?"
Yeah, no,
What?
it's been in Jacksonville it was like from Saturday to Saturday. They had a week straight of fights. Like they had a few fights on Saturday. I want to say, what is today? The 19th. What day was it? The 9th. They had UFC the 9th, and then fight on Wednesday, just randomly in the middle of the week, and then the 16th. All live. Only one of them was pay-per-view, but everything, I thought that was really cool. And I loved what Dana White, I think it was Dana White or Joe Rogan said. They said they're definitely coming back to Jacksonville once fans coming back up because
Well, hey, that's a good
I mean,
sign.
I love that they said that because I can guarantee you next time they're in UFC, I will try my ass to go there. I would love to see UFC fight because it's a cool environment to see. And who knows who you'll see down there. I mean, McGregor, I highly doubt those big names will come here, but you never know.
Well, let us know, fans that's listening to this. If you guys are into UFC, give us a little shout because I have no dog in the fight. I do not disrespect UFC in any way, shape, or form. I don't look down on it. It's just something I never really got into. So,
And honestly, Keith, I haven't really been getting into it until honestly since I came back from college. I'm like, it's something else to watch. It's a new sport. It's something to keep your mind entertained in summer because in the summer is really when I start watching, pay attention to it. But I honestly watch it when it comes on. I don't follow these guys on Twitter other than Joe Rogan and Dana White because they post some stuff on there. But other than that, I don't really pay attention. I don't know all the fighters' names, but
do you bet on it?
I have. Not recently because I'm not trying to gamble this year. I've lost enough money gambling in the last 2 years.
Oh man,
so I'm trying to take a break from.
We might have to get with our guys over on the Sports Bar Pod and
I wonder if they gamble on this.
I mean, Turco.
Yeah, seriously, Turco's on fire.
Yeah, if you guys haven't listened to them, go over and listen to the Sports Bar Podcast, which is my brother Scott Manzia, loyal listener to our show, and our childhood friend Alex Turco, who is
your childhood friend because I don't know him that well.
Well, I guess childhood friend of Scott and I should say, but yeah, childhood friend of Scott and I. But I heard that you gave some insight on the show, a little long ding shout out, and that's a great name right there.
Oh yeah.
No context at all for everybody. Go listen to the episode and you'll know what we're talking about.
Yep, it was the one posted. They posted one today.
Correct.
Not last week. The one week before that. I think it was on May 4th. It was a Cinco de Mayo episode. I know that.
Yes. And today while we're recording, it's the 19th, but you'll listen to this on the 20th or later. So yeah, go back to that Cinco episode. That was a good one for sure. Mike, transitioning from live television to recorded television, we just finished our last 2 episodes of The Last Dance. How are you feeling? I'm sad. I don't know about you.
I am so sad that it's over. Because what am I going to look forward to on Sundays now?
Oh, you're not going to watch the Lance Armstrong one?
Sorry, what? I literally saw that promo come up. I'm like, Lance, I don't give a shit about you.
Honestly, people are saying that it's going to be really good and really this and that. It's just
they can't time it the week after Jordan. If they did it 2-3 weeks after Jordan's documentary, yeah, maybe, but not the week after.
After his whole doping thing, I don't know. I just
lost interest
because I would watch the Tour de France because of him. I would oh yeah, this is cool. My neighbor down the street loved him. We all got our Live Strong bands. It's this is a cool thing. But after that, I failed to find any entertainment by it because
I'm not gonna watch. I mean, granted, I don't even watch NASCAR. Let alone I'm not gonna watch a guy biking for God knows how long. The entire day.
That is fair.
Racing, I get.
That's fair.
Although, if I'm gonna watch one, I might as well watch them both. But, although watching guys, I've seen the highlights of bikers crash or bicyclists crash. It's kind of funny.
Those are scary.
Those are scary but funny.
Oh, can you imagine getting run over?
NASCAR.
Jeez.
Oh God, no, I'm good. But no, NASCAR, the crashes are more. They're huge, but I feel like they're 98% of the time everyone walks away unscathed.
Okay, so you only want to watch the bicycle ones because they could be fatal.
No, not because they could be fatal, but I'm just saying they're more entertaining to watch. I don't know.
I'm yanking him
I
tan.
don't know. I'm just not gonna watch bicyclists bike. That just sounds boring. If I could do that, I can go outside my complex and see people bike up and down the street.
I mean, valid point. I'll let you have that. I'll let you take it. I won't say anything else about it. But back to The Last Dance. So after finishing it, I was definitely emotional during those last couple ones. But after watching it, I saw a lot of feedback on it where a lot of, the majority of people loved it. But they said the one thing they would like to change would be so that it wasn't jumping back and forth from, say 98 to 92, back to 98 to 96, to just make it sequential. I, for one, feel like that wouldn't work. What about you?
I agree. One thing I think they did perfectly was they gave an episode to Rodman, Dennis Rodman. They gave kind of an episode to, like I said, Scottie Pippen and Rodman, and they also gave it kind of a highlight of Steve Kerr's life, which I thought was very cool. How they talk about the person, and then they do a flashback about how those specific individuals got to this point in their lives.
Mm-hmm.
Because, for example, on Sunday's episode, they talked about Steve Kerr and how Jordan was going to give him the shot at the end against the Jazz. Was it the Jazz or the Pacers?
Jazz.
I forgot which team it was. Jazz. It was the Jazz.
Yeah.
Was it the?
I don't know.
It was the Jazz. Anyway, it was a game-winning shot in the biggest moment because it reminded everyone of John Paxson's shot earlier in the decade. But I thought it was cool how they talked about Steve Kerr. Jordan was about to prepare Steve Kerr for the shot, and then they flash back to Steve Kerr's life and how he was raised and how he had a close relationship with his father and how his family moved to Beirut and he went to Arizona, and then it led to this moment in time for him to make the big shot. So I thought it was very cool giving a backstory of how the individual got to that point. Granted, they could have done it the only way they could have done it better is maybe they did it early on, but I don't know. I think it was done perfectly because Steve Kerr came on in the final 2 seasons of the Bulls or 3 seasons of the Bulls, and then Rodman and Pippen, they had it early on. Everyone knew the storyline from all that, so I thought they did it perfectly. You don't need to do chronological because it's too. I feel like it's actually harder to keep everything chronologically updated.
I agree
because there's so much that goes into each factor. Like, hell, I mean, Dennis Rodman going to the damn WCW in the middle of the NBA Finals is what?
I
can't get over that.
I tweeted out that definitely in this day and age he would have been crucified and banned from the team and everything. But back then it was just a different time.
I've got a question.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it was a completely different time. So, what do you think was worse? Pippen saying, "Hell no, I'm not playing in this final moment in that playoff game." I think it was in episode 3 or 4, maybe. I don't remember. It was early on.
Yeah.
Or Rodman going to Vegas randomly, not coming back for like a week. Or Rodman going to WCW in the NBA Finals.
Well, okay. So the way I look at it is Rodman was a guy that needed to just get away sometimes. And they mentioned that several times where he would just disappear and then come back and he would still be able to perform at his highest level. So that was a good thing for him. Granted, the finals, you think would be a little bit different, but he still came back and had a good game. So it's not like it detrimented him in any way. On the other end, with Pippen gave up on the team. And that's when, Bill Cartwright came out with that super gut-wrenching, tear-induced speech. And it's like, hey, man, you gave up on us. Like, man, we're supposed to be a team. And that's when I think they all came together because it's like, yeah, man, like, Michael's gone, but like we need you, man. You're our guy, and he was their guy.
You're the Jordan right now for our team. Yeah. Like you are the guy.
Yeah, and he needed that punch in the throat and kind of like that emotional speech to really get him back into it. So I think that was worse in my eyes.
Yeah, I agree. And what pissed me off the most was when Pippen even said, "I don't regret that." I'm like, dude, that is a load of crap. You have to regret that. That's the one. You don't have a regret about not playing for your team in the NBA playoffs. No, I think that's a load of crap.
Yeah.
He has to regret that.
I agree.
That was a bad look.
Fun fact about Steve Kerr. You were mentioning him a minute ago. He's one of the only player in the last 50 years to win 4 straight finals. Because when he left Chicago,
he went to 99 He went to the Spurs.
Yeah, he went to the Spurs and won one with Timmy D. So I was like, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. Okay, I got a question for you, though, because everyone's talking about this now. Did you think Jordan was the GOAT before the documentary, or you changed your mind after the
No,
documentary?
I've always thought Jordan was the GOAT.
Okay.
I that
I
they're
changed
different
my mind on
times. I
that.
agree that him and LeBron are different players. I agree that LeBron is better in certain aspects, but just as certified GOAT status, I give it to Jordan just because of his mentality. The way this documentary certainly helped the case with his style of getting under his teammates, like getting them angry in order to make them better, and especially the line, "I would never make them do anything I wouldn't do." I can't see LeBron ever saying that because I don't think it's true.
Yeah,
So
fair enough.
I
It's funny. I got two things to say on that. One, I actually thought LeBron was the GOAT, but after watching this documentary, I changed my mind completely. Jordan, 100% is the GOAT. And two, I thought it was interesting because I didn't ask you if you thought LeBron or Jordan were the GOAT. I just asked if you think Jordan was the GOAT, and you said you compared immediately to LeBron
oh well, I mean, there's
because
no other
everyone
comparison.
automatically, I can make an argument for someone else
Who?
named Kobe Bryant.
Nah. R.I.P. Kobe,
You don't
but
think so?
no.
You don't think so?
Mm-mm. Kobe won a bunch of
I don't know.
finals. Kobe was a very, very skilled shooter, but I don't think he's right outside looking in. He's not in that top.
So you're saying 1-2 Jordan LeBron.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I don't know, man. I think Kobe, what Kobe did for so long and with that team, I mean, I don't know. Still, LeBron still got time to write his career. He's still got at least another 2, 3 years, 4 years. But man, it's hard. I mean, I don't know. Maybe after Kobe's death, I looked up more Kobe highlights, and that man could score at will. And I feel like LeBron can too, but LeBron also has off games, and Kobe rarely had an off game.
Yeah. I mean, shoot.
I don't know. I mean, it's definitely a debate for a lot of people. Everyone's saying LeBron and Kobe. I'm sorry, LeBron and Jordan, but I think Kobe's got to be up there at least. Some people say Wilt, Kareem. Like there are certain players that are being left out a little unfairly.
I'll let you go off on your own accord on this one, but one of my biggest things for Kobe not being the GOAT is the 2004 finals against Detroit. Just go look into that series a little more, and maybe that might shed some light as to why I feel the way I feel. But yeah, 2000,
I have to look into
yeah,
that
the
later on.
2004 finals, just his individual performance and stuff. So yeah, moving on from there, I enjoyed it. I wish there was more, but you know what? Now that we're getting more live sports, hopefully we won't have to worry about more documentaries for at least
Did you want to see? I mean, obviously everyone wanted to see more, but do you think 10 was perfect amount of episodes? 10 hours,
10 was
or
perfect.
do you think they could have gone? Do you think they could have
I
gone
mean, they could have
more?
gone more, but it would have gotten to the point where it'd be almost monotonous, where it's like, okay, I don't care about the ins and outs of Bill Cartwright or Bill Wennington or Ron Harper or Kukoc, whatever. Like, I don't need a bunch of stuff about them. The only thing that they could have added, which I know they never would have, would be what happened afterwards. I mean, they showed the little snippet right afterwards. It's like, oh well, Pippen got
Okay,
traded.
by the way, I'm glad you touched on that. I love how it said the Bulls began to rebuild. I saw someone, I forgot who tweeted it. They put the picture up and they began rebuilding. Someone said they still are. I thought that was hilarious on
Dang
Twitter.
man, hey man, they had some good years with
They had some
D-Rose.
runs with Derrick Rose. Yeah, I was about to say, but anyway, go ahead and continue with what you're saying.
Well, I mean, I think that was it. I'm right there. It's just they could have gone a little bit after. I'm not saying they should have, but they could have gone into like, okay, well, what happened to Dennis Rodman? Well, a lot of people don't know. Dennis Rodman was basically done after that. He played like 20 something games in LA for the Lakers. He played like 12 games in like Dallas, and then he was basically forced to retire in 2000, and that was it. Like, boom, gone, done. Like, that was
Mm-hmm.
it. And they ended the documentary, and it was like, all right, well, that's the end of Dennis Rodman too. I mean, Pippen went to the Blazers, and Kerr went to San Antonio. Stuff like that. It's like, oh, this is interesting and stuff, but like, I mean, I wanted to see more about Horace Grant. Magic.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. After, I mean, they kind of had that with Magic Moment, kind of,
Yeah,
but not really.
I wish
But,
they had thrown in the David Steele call though. That
oh, when Anderson stole the
Anderson
ball,
stole the
Anderson
ball.
stole the ball.
Anderson stole the ball from Jordan. I was like, oh man, I want that so bad.
I was actually low-key hoping they put that in there, but they stuck with NBC Sports.
Yeah, I
I
mean,
think it
I
was Bob
understand
Costas
why
or
they
something. I don't know who
did,
was
but
calling it.
dang, that was such a good call. Did you
Yeah.
see that he did that in his front yard with like his grandkids?
Yes. Yeah, I saw that a few weeks ago when quarantine officially started.
Yeah, that was so cute. That was so cute. Oh man. Well, switching gears here. If you, I'm sure you've seen by now, and I hope all of our fans or listeners have as well, on dimesonduval.com, our beautiful website, we have posted another article by our loyal listener and good friend Tyler Brickwood titled The Late Round QB. So he goes into talking about how, as we know, Gardner Minshew was a 6th-round draft pick in 2019. What other quarterbacks besides Tom Brady have shown any level of success, and can he be better than them? The short answer for me is I think he can be better than all of them. What about you? Just a short answer. Don't give me any explanation. Just do you think he can be better than everyone on that list?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
If you want a short answer.
And we're not counting Tom Brady on that list because he was not on. So.
Oh yeah, Tom Brady's. No one's gonna come
Yes.
close to what he's ever done. No
Yes.
one's gonna come close.
Go on Dimes on Duval. It is the featured post right now. Still, Tyler did a very good job on this article. I love all of his production that he's given us so far, and he says he wants to write more, and I'm never going to slow him down because content is key, and he's doing a bang-up job in that department. But I wanted to touch on, and I know it's been done countless times, and it's probably already been done during quarantine by local radio. God forbid I'm doing something.
Huh. Well, to be honest, I don't listen to him, so it'd be new
good.
to me.
Yeah, good. Because so you didn't hear this morning when Prosser was just bitching and moaning about The Last Dance, and it's
What is he moaning about? What is he complaining about?
I'm not even gonna get into it just because it made me mad. I changed the channel actually because he started complaining. Back to 96.9 and listen to some Led Zeppelin in the morning.
Of course he complains. I'm so sick of the radio in Jacksonville. They're
I
all awful.
will say though, shout out to the Sports Den for being the only respectable show on that channel. I mean, I will listen to them.
I would say Sports Den is a classic. I've listened to them for years.
If JJ doesn't
try
talk
to
so much,
intern
it's
with
good.
them.
But
yeah. I remember I tried to intern with Sports Den, and that didn't work out. But no, they're definitely a show that I do listen to whenever I can.
I think that they're good because they give you those stories that aren't talked about all throughout the day because they know that they can't just keep churning out the same garbage like the Frangie show and everybody else. Yeah, I called you out, Frangie. Yeah. Excuse me. But anywho, back to what I was originally going to say. I want to go through some of the Jags quarterbacks and who you think is the GOAT Jaguar quarterback.
Are we talking about late round or
no,
in general?
Just in general. Because, Gardner Minshew officially has a 6-6 record. He is 7th on the list in wins for our team. So that gives you a perspective. 7th of looks like, I don't know, guesstimating 17, 18 quarterbacks right here. Who do you think is the best Jaguars quarterback in your opinion?
My man, David Garrard. And I'm probably the only one who probably believes that, or at least in the minority. I am so sick and tired of people saying Mark Brunell is the greatest quarterback of Jaguars history.
Really? Why?
I am tired of it. I mean, look at the talent Brunell had compared to what Garrard had. Brunell had Jimmy Smith, the greatest receiver in franchise history. Keenan McCardell, the second best receiver in franchise history. Fred Taylor, the best running back in franchise history. The best left tackle in franchise history, best actually offensive lineman in franchise history in Tony Boselli. He also had, what's his face? Who's the running back before Fred Taylor? Mack? I can't remember what's his first name. Stacey Mack, yes, that him. They had Natrone Means. They had talent around Brunell. And the defense was unstoppable in the 90s with I can't remember, with Kevin. Oh my God, I'm dropping names right now. Oh my God. I can't remember the names right now on defense. But that team was loaded. And how far did Brunell take us? Obviously, it's a championship twice and whatnot. Cool. But David Garrard's weapons were complete garbage compared to Brunell. I am so sick of it. Like Garrard's top talent was Mike Thomas, not the Mike Thomas in New Orleans. Mike Thomas.
Walker?
Like everyone, Okay, no, Mike Tomlin. Well, okay, Mike Sims Walker just because he's taller.
Mercedes Lewis.
But Mercedes Lewis barely caught any touchdowns. He's more a blocking tight end. Except for that one
I
year
was gonna say,
they
whoa
both made the
now.
Pro Bowl. That one year they both made the Pro Bowl, which I still don't know how the hell that happened, but anyways. And they had MJD. MJD obviously is a franchise legend. I'm not saying anything wrong against MJD, but my God, man. And David Garrard led us to this playoffs after Byron Leftwich got hurt. Are you kidding me? God, I'm so sick of people saying he's definitely the most underappreciated Jaguar, I think.
I mean, he had a better completion percentage than Brunell, so you got that going for you. Sample size is smaller, but
sample size is smaller. That's because what's his face, Jack Del Rio and Gene Smith were complete idiots and cut Garrard 3 days before the season started and put Josh McCown a starter. I'm sorry, Luke McCown a starter.
Oh man!
And then a week later, Blaine Gabbert comes in, and then the rest is terrible history.
Oh yeah, you look here. This is what Wikipedia says. Despite his Pro Bowl selection and a comeback year, Jacksonville drafted Missouri quarterback Gabbert with their first round draft pick. Though Coach Del Rio insisted.
But okay, to be fair, I understand why they took Gabbert. I completely understand it. You want to get a franchise quarterback, and Garrard was not a franchise quarterback. That's fine. But go ahead.
Though Coach Del Rio insisted Garrard would remain the team's starting quarterback, he was released by Jacksonville on September 6, 2011, less than a week before the start of the season.
I was like, can we go over that too? When they cut him 3 days before the season started, there was a team luncheon with fans, and they said Garrard is the quarterback. After the luncheon, Garrard gets cut. What the hell?
It was handled incredibly poorly. I agree with you there. I agree.
I will never forget that we had a luncheon. We said Garrard's the quarterback. An hour later, we cut Garrard. Like, what?
I can't.
I will never forget that headline.
I love your passion here, bro. I love it. I mean, I agree with you.
I cannot. I will never forget that headline. When that came out, like, on ESPN, I remember I was watching ESPN. I forgot who was reporting it. I just remember ESPN. Sources are saying Jaguars cut David Garrard. I'm like, what? And then they said, earlier in the day, they had a team luncheon, and they advised that Garrard was the starting quarterback. Like, what? That is the Jaguars organization as a whole.
That's really pathetic.
Unorganized.
Really pathetic. But I think you're forgetting somebody. You know, Mark Brunell is like with passing records and stuff like that. He sits atop the list, obviously, and has the most games played, yada yada. But in between Brunell and Garrard, there's somebody that had more passing yards. Who did you say? No, sir. Byron Leftwich only threw for 9,000 yards as a Jaguar.
More passing yards between
Brunell had 25,500. David Garrard had 16,000, right on the nose almost. And this quarterback had 17,500.
Oh, are you saying Blake Bortles?
Fucking Bortles, baby.
The vote. Yeah, I mean, he had to throw because he had no running game for the first 2 years of his career.
One of two quarterbacks for the team to throw over 100 touchdowns as well. Just a fun fact.
Well, I mean, he also had 35 in a year. He also had like 20 picks. But
anyway, he also threw 75 picks. Yeah.
Yeah, well,
20-something more than Garrard did.
Yeah, and that's why I think Garrard is better. I felt like he's definitely a game manager, but Brunell, I don't know. I guess Brunell's ability to run out of the pocket was what really helped him become really more famous here in Jacksonville. Right. But I think Garrard is definitely an underappreciated quarterback, or at least player in Jaguars history.
I would agree with that. And Garrard just had a spark to him. I don't know. I mean, Brunell was a lefty, so of course I was, I loved him for that. It's like, oh God, a left-handed quarterback, that's amazing. This guy's my hero. But Garrard just had something about him. He was just so lovable too. He was I hate to say that for, a quarterback argument for who's better, but like he was a really lovable guy. And like I remember I saw him one time at not Jimmy John's. Ugh, never go there. Crap. What's the Jersey Mike's? There we go.
Jersey Mike's. I was gonna say
we
Jersey
were in line at Jersey Mike's together, and like I just looked over him. I was like, Mr. Garrard, how are you? And he's like, hey, I'm good. Just call me David, man. Don't call me Mr. Garrard. I don't know why I did.
Yeah, I don't know why you
I was
call
like
him
22
Mr.
years
Garrard.
old, and I call him Mr. Garrard. But he's like, yeah, man, I'm good. He's like, I'm like, what you doing over here? He's like, oh, my gym is over here, so I was gonna grab a quick bite and then head over there because he owned Retro Fitness, and that was when it was still on Bay Meadows, so it's not there anymore.
We're still in
RIP
business
now, yeah. I don't know if he has any locations open, but that one's closed. But I was just like, yeah, this guy's down to earth. He's chill. I have always respected him for that. Byron is not on my list. The guy just threw the ball as hard as he could, and it kind of got stuck in the receiver's hands, or it went through him. That was it, really.
Yep.
And then everyone else is.
But no, I think Gardner can. I think Gardner. Just to touch on the article, I think Gardner can be the best 6th-round quarterback, but I also think he can be the best franchise quarterback, which really isn't saying much. But we'll see.
Oh man, yeah. I mean, we got time. Time is on our side right now because we are sitting here patiently waiting to see what will happen. And hey, who knows? Maybe in a year he fails and we sign Blake Bortles and the boat takes back over.
The boat. Oh my! Do you think? By the way, he's a free agent. Everyone is saying just sign Blake. He can't be worse than Josh Dobbs. I'm like, you know what? I wouldn't mind Blake Bortles as a backup, but then I'm like, you know what? Probably not a good idea to bring him back.
I wouldn't hate it, but I'm always in the minority.
I wouldn't hate it, but
everyone
I'm like,
hates, Blake with like every fiber in their body, and I don't. I hate Blaine Gabbert.
No, I don't hate him. I hate him as a quarterback. As a person, he's a great guy.
I liked him as a game manager too.
Well, okay. What year was he a game manager? Other than
that's what I'm saying. That season,
when we went to the AFC Championship,
17 season or whatever. I was like, this is fine.
Yeah, I mean, he got the job done, but then when we needed him to come up clutch, he couldn't do it in the AFC Championship. But that's because officials killed us, and I'm not going over that because the other day
let's go ahead.
No, just last thing on that, it was so bad the other day. It was Saturday before the UFC fight started. I was texting one of my friends like, "What am I going to watch until the UFC fight start?" He's like, "I don't know." He told me some stupid stuff on YouTube. I'm like, let me go on YouTube. And I pulled up a video, and somehow I ended up going down a rabbit hole, going to watch 15 minutes of the 2017 Jacksonville Jaguars collapse.
Jesus,
I'm like, oh, great. I just watched. I was so mad at myself. I was like, you got to be kidding me. But I was like, you know what? Whatever. Past is the past. On to the future.
On to the future. And that's why we will change subjects so we don't have to think about that. Let's get into some local Jacksonville talk. So, first things first, with all of the things that have been closing around town, it's really been kind of a bad time for new real estate, new this, that, and the other. Not real estate like your real estate, but like businesses.
I was going to say, if anyone wants to buy a house or sell a house, hit me up.
Mike can help you with those needs. But for my needs, which is my hunger, because I am starving right now. I didn't eat when I got home. I read a little article about a new Nashville hot chicken restaurant that's coming to Murray Hill called Huey's Nashville Hot Chicken. So it's...
Oh, snap. Okay.
I mean, Murray Hill is bumping with local stuff.
I would say Murray Hill is popping with some restaurants now. They got
Maple Street. They got Moon River. They got Fishwire Brewing Company. They got like a ton of good stuff over there locally. And this will just add to the collection. I mean, they've got Nashville hot chicken dishes, salads, southern themed sides with a spicy taste of Nashville. That's like their key thing. So, and they use a bunch of local ingredients, so that's really good too. Because I don't know, I've been really kind of looking for more companies that, use stuff locally, especially with like this beef shortage and the pandemic and stuff like that. Kind of want to know where my stuff is coming from, if you know what I mean. So, I'm kind of excited to try this place. I mean, are you a fan of Nashville hot chicken?
I never really had Nashville hot chicken, but I'm definitely interested in trying it because now it's definitely like spicy, right? I'm assuming it is. So I'm definitely a fan of spicy foods. I'm definitely a fan of fried chicken. So I don't see why I'm not going to try it.
Do you know what the difference between Nashville hot chicken and just like regular hot chicken?
Nope.
Okay. Well, I mean that would be a key thing. So.
Well, I mean, I'll learn when I eat there.
Well, I mean, it's a little bit different. Like it's marinated in buttermilk, which a lot of fried chicken can be.
Okay.
And they use like a different hot sauce. It's more of like a paste. And a big thing that's in it is cayenne pepper. So it's like it's hard to describe. Normal like Texas Pete is just like a runny hot sauce that you could just pour on something, right?
Yeah.
Nashville hot sauce is like I said, it's like a paste. So you could take like a paintbrush and like slap it on there. I think there's like lard in it or something like that that makes it thick. And I know that sounds really unappetizing.
I was gonna say that sounds really unhealthy and very disgusting,
it's
but
good.
I don't even
It's
care.
good. I promise you, it's good. We'll have to go there and try it out or something
I'm
like
down.
that.
I'm down.
But one other note I wanted to make for the local scene is the Riverside Arts Market is going to be returning, obviously with, a different feel to it than we're used to. So if you haven't been, it's right by my house. The Riverside Arts Market is fantastic. All kinds of cool local stuff. But phase 1 of reopening will be this weekend, the 23rd. So only essential businesses will be present. So like farmers, food trucks, makers of PPE, bath and body products, all that stuff is still there. So like no morning yoga and no live performances. So like, it's okay. You can go without that kind of stuff. But like, the vendor booths will have to be spaced out. All the vendors must wear masks. And it's just, it's like I said, it's phase 1. So we're getting back to some sort of sense of normalcy in that regard. So if you're looking out to get out of the house and do something that you used to do or something that you've never done that you might want to try, check out the Riverside Arts Market. It's a lot of fun. There's always cool vendors and just some really cool products that you can get. And you're supporting local, and that's, a win in itself because local's the best. Duval Pride, baby. Do you have Duval Pride, Mike?
I mean, of course I do. Well, real quick, one quick question. You just mentioned phase 1 of reopening. Have you gone to any of the restaurants at all, eaten inside yet, or
No, I
no?
will not.
Yeah,
I am
I'm
a
hesitant on all
quote
that right now.
essential worker right now, and I am exposed to hundreds of people every single day. And
Oh, that's right. You're at Chick-fil-A. Yeah, so that
yeah,
makes
so I
sense.
really don't want to expose myself to other people. It's not that I'm fearful for myself. It's more for the concern of others. I can wear a mask, I can wear
Yeah,
gloves, but what's the point of the risk when I know how I can just eliminate it completely by not doing that? Now, I've ordered takeout. I went to Academy Sports the other day because I was looking for a bike, which, much to my chagrin, there was none, which, understandable. Everyone wants a bike right now. But I will not be dining in a restaurant probably for another couple months.
yeah, I'm with you on that. I'm holding out on that as long as possible because I'm not trying to, one, piss off waitresses who just got their jobs back. They're probably like that. I feel bad for the waitresses and waiters that are coming back to whatever horror stories may come back in terms of service from people
Yeah,
complaining.
I don't want to
That's
know
yeah,
everybody else. I mean, it's terrible. And, when you have to make signs that say, hey, please remain calm. It may be a few minutes extra. We're working our hardest, because a lot of these places have limited staff and, just limited
yeah,
resources. So it makes things more difficult. But I digress. I mean, it is what it is. We have to deal with it. We're going to end the show with Skyler. We're going to have him talk about some changes that are going on with coastal indoor golf. So let's go ahead and get into that. All right.
Action.
We are you jerk. We are live with Skyler Chase now, as Mike has now stepped away. Skyler, welcome in. You are remote in your Subaru currently. How are you doing?
Thank you. Thank you for having me on. First off, I'm a big fan of the show. First time caller in. Well, I'm doing all right. Just
good.
sitting here, enjoying the humidity right now and that heat that's rolling through Florida right now.
Brutal, isn't it?
Very. I hate it.
It is.
I'm glad I got a haircut and shaved my whole beard.
Oh man, we might need a picture of that. I have a bush on the top of my head. It is wild up here. It's probably the longest my hair has ever been in my life.
Well, I mean, this is the first time in about well, since before my grandpa died, I have a clean face. So it's been a while for me
Yeah, that's a
since
long
my
time.
bushes were reversed.
Hey, man, I'm just jealous that you can even grow a beard like that. I can't. I couldn't even if I tried.
Depression helps a lot. It's amazing.
Well, let's get out of that. All right, let's try and talk a little more positive. So, you were not with us as we were recording the first part of this episode, as you were at work, but we're talking to you now. You just got off of your shift at Coastal Indoor Golf. Give me the update. You said some good things are happening there. I'm curious to see what's going on with our favorite sponsor.
Got some new stuff rolling through. Got new T-shirts. Got quite a few colorway options coming in just for like local fans and stuff, like collegiate colorways and teal and black, for the home team here. But those shirts look pretty nice. It's actually not just like a basic shirt. Actually, it's a simple design, but it's a nice one. So I mean, yeah, you'll see them soon, I'm sure.
I'm looking at it here. It's nice. It's got the subtle design on the bottom. The back says Coastal Indoor Golf, Jacksonville Beach. I like that. It's simple, it's clean, and it gets the message across. And you're like, oh wow, what's that shirt for? Boom, the answer's right on the back.
I think it's also a great way just to support local business in a way. Like it shows Jacksonville Beach. Or the other ones we have, they're really soft. They're high quality T-shirts. Like I have 2 of them. I don't know how many other people ended up with some, but it just says Coastal Indoor Golf, and they're bright and vibrant and they're nice, but they don't mention Jack's Beach much. So it's like you don't really know where it's at. Don't really get much info from it. But this one's got part of the logo. It's a different perspective on the logo that we tried, and we both figured, Brian and I both figured that and his wife Amber as well helped out a lot. Both all figured that we needed more colors as well, just to adapt to all the different people that like the different colors and teams and such. But everyone loves to support their team, so.
Yeah, I see orange and blue. I see teal and black, red and black, navy and white for UNF. I don't see the green and gold or the garnet and gold. So I'm gonna guess with gold was kind of a tough color to get, huh?
Yeah, the gold's expensive right now. It's not the gold rush right now, so.
It's a silver rush. Yeah, I get it. It's all good. It's all good.
Yeah, no one likes that. Also, no one really likes that vomit-looking red that looks like it's got blood and like. It's like you just like threw up some bean dip.
Oh, let's not talk about colors when you've got the most highlighter orange of all time. Ugh, makes me want to puke.
I'm sorry. You only got through school because of highlighters, right? Ugh, so selfish.
No, I didn't use highlighters.
Oh, that's right. You didn't graduate college either.
Dang. All right.
Boom,
Well, wait, neither did you. Shut up.
I don't use highlighters. What? Failure preparing to fail,
Whatever.
We dominate that to an extent in some situations.
Okay. Well, I see you got.
But you got more experience than me. And I think you're closer along than I am. So, more kudos to you, anyway. So
all right.
We'll both.
I'll take what I can get. I'm looking here. It says adult sizes run from extra small to 3X, and kid sizes are from extra small to extra large. So you got a plethora of different options for the sizes. Pre-orders are available, it looks like, too. So if you want one of these shirts, how much are they running for?
So you can pick one up at the store when they're ready for $20, or you can have them delivered to you, and shipping after that it's $24 total. So, and if you get more shirts, you get basically $2 off if you get them delivered. So like, you get 2 shirts delivered, it'll be $44 instead of $48.
Okay, all right. Oh, that's a pretty dang good deal. I like that. So, what else is going on at the store?
Well, I just also want to briefly mention with those shirts, there might be some Saturday deals in terms of college football. When games are being played, if they come back around, well, I'm sure they're going to come back around. They'll find a way to play them, but yeah. I just want to briefly mention that.
Okay.
But in terms of other things going on, I'm not sure how vocal it's been made, but TrackMan had signed a deal with the European Tour, and they plan to get some matches on some simulated courses, similar to how NASCAR's doing iRacing. But with that, we're probably going to be a host facility. We've got some beta software we're testing right now, but regardless, that software that we got, it's going to be some stuff that we're going to have later on in the future in all our bays anyways. And it's got some new games added like Long Drive and Capture the Flag. So similar to how people love to go to Topgolf and just like play target games, this finally has a target game that's kind of good for everyone, whereas prior it's just kind of you create your own rules, play on the driving range and whatnot, whereas now it's kind of, it makes the rules for you, creates an order, and creates some it's fun action. They even got like emojis that pop up if you get near the flag. So it's like, I didn't expect that.
That's big time right there. I mean, dang. Capture the Flag, just thinking about it, it sounds like a great time, especially for people that, they're not going out there to play a round of golf. They're like, I'm not good enough for all that. I don't want to spend the money on that. It's like being able to play a fun activity for everyone. I think of our friends Kevin and Katie. I think that'd be something Katie would be definitely down to do, don't you think?
Yeah, just making contact with the ball and giving it an effort towards getting points, definitely. And it won't hurt her score either.
Yeah, exactly.
So, but yeah, that's one game, and I think that, just like you said, it's gonna just create a more fun environment for just like a group atmosphere.
Definitely. I'm definitely gonna want to have to go and try that, because I think if you get a good enough group to do it with, that could be a lot of fun.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah, and we always got the courses you could play if you're good enough, or you're down to try those. So, I mean, we also have lessons to get good enough to do that. And so, I mean, we got pretty much everything anyways.
Well, you heard it here. If you guys need help with your golf game, if you're looking for supporting local business with some new apparel, or if you just want to play something new and fun, head on down to Coastal Indoor Golf out at Jags Beach. Definitely worth your time. You get to see the beautiful Skyler Chase, most likely. And I mean, I don't even need to say anything else after that. That's it. I'm seeing Skyler's.
I need to get a picture and a frame for my, like, when I'm not there, just to have,
Oh, we should get you one of those life-size cutouts.
That'd be interesting. I was thinking more like, how Publix has that wall of managers or whatever.
Yeah.
I get like a presidential pose.
That would be actually really cool. Yeah. Best important.
Maybe get like
Get
like an imitation green jacket for it.
Ooh, now that's a winner. You could probably find one of those at Goodwill. I was talking to Mike about this. We were talking about the greatest quarterbacks for the Jaguars in their history. Now, we were talking briefly before the show here, and you were giving me a different take than I was expecting. So Mike has already self-proclaimed that he himself had a hot take by taking David Garrard. Let's hear it, bro. What do you got for me? Who's your Jaguar QB?
If we're rating takes on like a hotness scale, his is only like a 7.3. I'm definitely my scale. My take's definitely hotter on the scale. It's like definitely a low 9.
His was a 7 and yours is a low 9.
Yeah, it's my take's pretty hot. You're gonna want to see it.
Okay.
Or hear, I guess. But
all right. Well, hit me.
Should I say it now? Is this where I say it?
Go for it.
Okay.
The floor is yours.
Well, I'm waiting for the commercial. I was just waiting for the cliffhanger. Can I get? Well, I'll just. I mean, we don't have that many. Can people? I mean, I honestly think if developed properly, if put in the same situation as quote unquote the greatest quarterback in Jaguars history, I think Blake Bortles could have arguably been like the best quarterback in Jaguars history. I mean, he holds some records in our franchise. I don't remember which ones off the top of my head right now, but I just look at it from the perspective of Mark Brunell had the luxury of sitting behind Brett Favre and then not having to start right away as a young player, coming to a team with some great players, Keenan McCardell and Jimmy Smith, and later getting Fred Taylor, and also having Tony Baselli as his left tackle. I think you put Bortles in that situation. I think Bortles produces to a similar caliber, although Brunell was leading the NFL in passing yards, in 96. The only one to have 4,000 yards, which is crazy. It's an anomaly in a sense when you think about it. But, I mean, Blake Bortles surpassed that passing mark for most passing yards, if I'm not mistaken, in a single season for Jaguars history. But, I mean, you give Blake that same situation with Fred Taylor, Jimmy Smith, Keenan McCardell, and Tony Baselli blocking for your blind side, and developed properly. I don't think Blake Bortles would have been worse than Brunell in that situation. But so that's
what if I counter that with Brunell was there from 95 to 03, right? He played in 120 games. Blake Bortles played in 75 games. So how many more is that? That's 55,
50.
45 more games? Yeah. 40. Mark Brunell was sacked 333 times. Blake Bortles was sacked 195. So he was basically sacked 130 more times than Blake Bortles was. Everyone gives Bortles so much crap for getting sacked so many times. I don't know. 333 times is a lot. I thought that line was really good.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of that probably came later in the career when Brunell was losing mobility and was wearing a brace around his knee and such, and Jimmy was smelling some stuff.
Okay, I just wanted to counter you. I mean, I love Blake. I think he could have been very good. I was always on the boat train.
I could be biased as well. I could be biased just because he knows my name, because he's been to Coastal Indoor Golf, like most people should. But
so if you're going top three, are you going Bortles, Brunell, Garrard, or Bortles, Garrard, Brunell?
I'm going BBG.
BBG. Okay, so you got Garrard third on the list. Well, according to Pro Football Reference, they've got Brunell, Bortles, Garrard. So Garrard is correct, sitting at third there in their eyes. So I can't wait till we get you and Mike back on the mic together. We might have to do an emergency episode next week or something to get you guys going back and forth on this, because I know he secretly liked the boat a little bit, but I don't think he had any respect for him as a quarterback. I think he thinks he was a good guy, and that's it. And I like your take on Blake. I think it's fun. But the Brunell hate is fun as well. So I don't know, man. I'm sitting there. I'm still thinking Jay Fiedler was our best quarterback, but, what do I know?
It was definitely Blaine Gabbert. Let's not forget Sunshine.
I mean, Blaine Gabbert is 6th on this list of all time. 6th. That's terrible.
It's not a very long list.
It's not a long list, and it hurts my eyes to see it.
I'm number 8, right? I think I'm number 8.
You're actually number 9. You're right behind Steve Earline. Yeah, my bad. Nah, Minshew's 7th already, and he's been on the team for like a cup of coffee.
I would put Minshew above Blaine.
Well, I mean, I agree that he's going to be a better quarterback, but I mean, Blaine Gabbert went 5-22 with his team. I mean, Jesus, like, he was not a good quarterback by any stretch of the imagination.
Gabbert only got 5 wins with the Jaguars?
No. I'm sorry. That was his team record in games started by this quarterback. Yeah. Oh, yeah, 5-22. That's what it said. Yeah.
So, what? Minshew already had 6 wins.
6-6.
What the
wow,
heck?
That's terrible. Chad Henne also only had 5 wins.
Oh, and I had season tickets.
The only reason this is set up the way it is for yards. So, Gabbert's thrown for 4,000 yards. Minshew only threw for 3,000. But Minshew threw for 3,000 in one, not even full season, and Gabbert threw for 4,000 in 3 years.
And I'm hearing great things about his handle on the playbook.
Oh gosh, yeah, you saw those tweets today too.
Yeah, so I was it me O'Brien tweeted about Chris Thompson, and then that Tyler Eifert also had mentioned that, you know, he had a great handle on the playbook, and they both were already in Gruden's playbook like system. So that gets me excited. I think he's a smart guy. I think we'll surprise a lot of people. I don't want to get excited though. It's just the way my life's going. It's tough to get excited. I gotta keep going down this trail. We got. Oh God, why did we talk about the Jaguars, Keith? Why did we talk about?
I'm so sorry. Well,
I'm just kidding. I forgot what this podcast was about.
Oh man. Well, I mean, thank you for coming on, giving us your insight. Like I said, we're gonna have to get with Mike here. We got the rest of the episode.
Well, sneak preview also. Don't forget, we're going to talk about schedule and uniform.
We should just do another episode next week where we can tackle the schedule and some cool stuff that you've actually dug into yet that I won't completely give away yet, but it's a little fun with jerseys. And Mike and you can go back and forth a little bit, squabble here and there, so that should be fun. I really think we've got something going for a good episode, a good follow-up to this.
Yeah, I think this was good. Just it was definitely it'll be interesting to see how this sounds like with the way we both called in differently.
It will be interesting. I'm gonna have fun editing this. Thank you. Thank you for coming aboard, buddy. We're gonna close out the episode here because obviously the people that are listening haven't finished the episode yet. So there's a little more to come. Stay tuned. Skyler, thank you for coming aboard and take it easy, buddy.
All right, no problem. Thanks for having me on again. Thanks for letting me be caller number 69.
Absolutely. That's the only call I take. All right. Well, that was the Coastal Indoor update. Thank you again for that, Skyler. As for Mike Yazji and myself, we thank you for listening to Dimes on Duval. Please check out our new website. Give us any comments, feedback, anything you want to hear from us. Just let us know. We will get back to you as soon as possible, or maybe feature you on the show. So thank you all for listening. Mike, take it easy, buddy.
You too. Hey, everyone, 5 stars on every
5 stars all around. Peace out, everybody.